chairing the pension committee this morning. It is Wednesday, March 10th, and we are happy to have you with us. First of all, this morning, we're going to discuss two bills, House Bill 1336 and House Bill 922. I'm going to start with House Bill 1336. This bill requires that the executive director of the Alcohol and Tobacco Commission be a sworn police officer with certain powers. It also says that this officer must be a member of the law enforcement pension system as a condition of the employment. It requires the Board of Trustees for the state retirement and pension system to transfer certain service earned under certain circumstances, and also to transfer member contributions, the employee pension system, to the law enforcement officers' pension system. This bill has one amendment. The amendment says that an individual who is a secretary of a principal department or a local head of a department or unit of the state government serving at the governor's pleasure has immediate vesting rights upon taking office in the state system. Any discussion on the amendment? Seeing,
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm just trying to digest this together. Can you kind of give me a little explanation of what this bill actually does?
The bill or the amendment?
The amendment.
The amendment says that a person who accepts a position as a secretary of a local government department or a unit of the state government serves under the governor's pleasure has immediate vesting rights once he takes office in the state system. So it's giving them immediate vesting rights if they are serving at the governor's pleasure.
Okay. I see. Okay. Thank you for that explanation.
Mm-hmm. Delegate Lewis.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Do we do that normally for other agency heads? I'm just curious. Like, is everyone else, if you're head of an agency, vested immediately? I don't know if council knows.
Is Ann on, June?
Yes, I think I would defer to our counsel at SRA to explain that answer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks, June. Delegate, as Delegate Proctor explained, it's going to provide immediate vesting rights, specifically who we requested this amendment, specifically for the position of Executive Director of State Retirement. And that's because our Executive Director is retiring. I don't know if you heard that at the budget hearing. And then it's making it more attractive to court candidates for the position if they have immediate vesting. There are some positions already that do have immediate vesting. As Delegate Proctor said, talked about it when she was describing the amendment. If you're serving at the governor's pleasure, a lot of people in those positions already have that. This would allow our executive director to enjoy that position, to have that same option. Now, I will tell you, the Senate Budget and Tax, the Pension Subcommittee on the Senate, they voted this out, but they added study language, I think, to address your concern and a concern that the Chair Proctor had when I was talking to her about this amendment, that this would open the door to other people coming in. So we're going to look at this, if you all adopt also when you see the Senate bill, you may want to adopt their study language. It would direct us, state retirement, to report back to you all over the interim. How many people exactly are we talking about that would be in the same position as our executive director, as that position? What would be the consequences if you open this up to other people? Is this an antiquated provision so everyone who's a head of state government should have this option? All of these things will be discussed in the report, but for now, we requested the amendment because we're facing a problem right now of the vesting issue of 10 years for the head of an agency to attract people to apply for the job.
Thank you for that thorough response.
Delegate Haynes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I just wanted to ask a question and put it in context. You know, having certain oversight for pensions going on probably 17, 18 or more years now, we've with the Treasurer's Office, pensions have in this whole financial sort of sector have always sort of had an issue of trying to make sure that we recruit qualified candidates because it's such a competitive profession. And so we've done something similar to this, I think, in the Treasurer's Office as well, when we were trying to recruit qualified individuals to assist that particular agency because of the competitiveness in the financial sector. Is that right, Ann?
I can't speak directly to the Treasurer's Office, but it would make sense. As you know, I mean, since you all did the reforms, getting people to come in to lead up agencies or division heads and telling them you're going to have to work 10 years before you get a pension from us. It makes it very hard. Right.
Yeah, and that's my point. You know, we've done some of this because of the competitiveness between the private sector and the public sector and in the financial aspect of things. This sort of adds an additional enticement to get those individuals who are really qualified to really consider coming into this particular role, as opposed to waiting 10. I remember when we did all the reforms on pension, and it's just an uphill battle to try to find replacements when they're starting out from day one. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate Hayes. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, seeing no other questions, I am moving amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to House Bill 922.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
did we move the bill, or was that just on the amendments?
Oh, I am sorry. You're absolutely right. Thank you very much. At this point, we're going to move the bill with the amendment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're moving to House Bill 922. This particular bill basically clarifies members of the state retirement and pension system for death benefits when COVID-19 causes or contributes to the death of a member. And we do have an amendment that I would ask June to explain.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is an agency-sponsored amendment, and a couple of the things that it does that are technical, and that is that it clarifies the definition as a special death benefit, which is consistent with the code and the rest of the pensions article. In addition to that, it also clarifies and outlines a process because the bill is retroactive, so it covers deaths that occurred from March 5th until the effective date of the bill. There is a possibility that members may have died already, but may be eligible. So it just sort of clarifies and outlines that process for those members that can actually apply for the special death benefit as opposed to a general death benefit, which they may have received. And what it does is it clarifies the procedures so that it ensures that they do not receive a double sort of award or a repeated death benefit award. So that's the major. It also adds reports as well. There's another where it's at the end of the bill, there's quarterly reporting that's required. So it also adds that that the report includes the employer for which the member who is deceased worked for, so that we can also track that in the report. So again, this is an agency-sponsored amendment, and it was a JCP bill also.
Thank you very much. I see one question. Is that Delegate Reed?
Yeah, Delegate Novotny. Yes, Madam Chair. So just, I think we kind of covered this before when we discussed it, but the overall question of what else is handled in this same way? You know, is flu handled in the same way? Is anything else that you could possibly catch handled in the same way? Or is this just a special carve out for COVID? And then the follow-on question is, you know, what's next, right? Is there another thing in our mind that might be the next COVID 2021 that will also be included in this? And that's either for the chair or for council.
I think I'd ask Ann to respond to that.
Sure, Delegate. So that's an interesting question about the flu, because I've had conversations with colleagues about this bill, and it's clarifying the process. It's not creating a new benefit for COVID, but it's providing the process for how someone who dies from COVID, how their family would go about getting the benefit. Without this, someone who dies of COVID, their family could still apply for this benefit. So my conversations with colleagues have been, well, why hasn't someone done this with the flu already? And there's nothing to stop someone's family who gets a terrible case of the flu and dies from applying for a line of duty death benefit. That's already in place. They can do that. I don't know that anyone has ever done that, though.
So great point, though. So why would we do this here if they could already do it?
I think because it's so difficult with, now keep in mind, this is not an agency bill. These amendments that are in the bill are from us. So I'm speaking from discussions I've been having with people in Annapolis about this, is that I think we're doing it, I think, because this is much harder to determine where you're getting it from. And there is such a higher death rate with this than there is with the flu. That's why I think what prompted the Joint Committee chairs to want to do this is that, you know, there was the level of danger with asking people, really, I think the people you're focusing on are the ones who came in early on and who have been coming in all along, I guess. But, you know, when there weren't a lot of protections available to them.
Yeah, copy. I appreciate that. I spent 120 days on mobilization, helping the state out with this. And I understand the anxiety that was there at the beginning, no mask, no nothing, right, at the beginning. So I completely understand that. I am also, less is more type of bureaucracy person. So if the benefit is already there, you know, that indicates to me that, you know, people can't apply for this, and I will probably vote against it. Thank you for your clarification, though.
Delegate, can I just add one more thing? And I think I brought this up at the hearing. And I think the committee should know this, is that the way the bill is structured, is that we've been reaching out to the employee organizations. Please let us know so that we can stay on top of the retroactive piece of it. And we're not flooded on June 1st with getting, oh my gosh, 120 people died. We've got to find. We've been told 10 people have died so far from this. I've gone back and I've looked at each of those 10. And of the 10, the way the bill is set up, only at this point, I think 3 would qualify because they have the appropriate family members. So I want the committee to know this is not opening this up to hundreds and hundreds of people to the committee.
So that's another great point. And I apologize for taking so much time this morning. Without this bill, would those 3 people still qualify though?
They would have to, I think it might be more difficult for them if they wanted to apply for a line of duty death benefit, because there's nothing in place right now that makes it a presumption that person got it at work. So it would be more difficult for them to prove that to our medical board.
That was a definite maybe then?
Yeah, maybe they would get it, maybe they wouldn't.
Okay.
I think this makes the path easier for them.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Delegate Mangione?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, man. I mean, I appreciate the answers there because I'm just trying to understand a bit more how it works, and that helped. I guess I'm trying to figure out where do we see most of these line of duty, I guess, deaths and the the fallout with them and receiving the benefits. I just don't know, and I'm trying to get a little more knowledge, so I appreciate it.
Are you asking specifically like where?
Yeah, like the cases. Yeah, which cases do we?
Where they're working.
Yes, and yeah.
So I'm thinking, I don't have the list in front of me, all right? So, but I think I've seen mostly from MVA and corrections.
Okay, MVA you said?
And motor vehicles and corrections.
Really? Is that like an MVA, like a type of a police agency within the MVA, or what's happening at an MVA that is causing this? Again, for my own knowledge. So I'm just trying to see.
I think that's a question more for the AFSCME on why motor vehicles is having more problems. I can only speak to what I've read in the Sun paper, and I have read that they have been particularly they don't have a lot. They did not have a lot of PPP available to them when they were asked to come back to work. So there was greater exposure to their employees.
No, I'm talking about before COVID. I'm sorry for the confusion. Like before COVID.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're wanting to know like where we see mostly our line of duty. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
My goodness. Well, I don't know. I can get that answer for you. I can even begin to speculate as to where they come from. I think we get about 500 applications a year, 500 to 600 applications for death benefits a year, or disability. So I don't know how many line of duty deaths we get a year.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. We can touch after. So thank you.
Yeah, I'll circle back and let you know, Delegate.
Thank you, man.
Are there any other questions? Any other questions on the amendment? Seeing none, I move the amendment.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it. The amendment passes. Is there any, seeing none, I have moved the bill as amended. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The bill as amended has been properly moved in second. Thank you very much. That ends our work for today, unless there's anyone who has a question or an announcement of any type. Seeing none, thank you and enjoy the